Welcome back, and if you're looking at this video, you would have just completed your first heel. This is roughly what it should look like. So you've got a decent row here. There's no gaps in it because we did that little pickup along the sides. And you would have ended on your purl row, so when you turn it around, you're ready to start knitting again. So now what we need to do is continue going in the round again so that we can do the foot part of the sock. So we're done with our piece of paper. We probably won't need that anymore. And now to figure out how long you want your foot part to be, I usually estimate that the heel is about 2 inches. And then I measure maybe an inch or so for the toe later. So measure your foot from the back of your heel to probably, I'm guessing the toe would start at the bottom of your big toenail. So if you measure your foot and subtract in maybe 2 inches there and an inch and a half here, that will determine how long you need to make your foot. The socks are usually pretty stretchy too if they're done with a sock weight yarn that's a superwash merino. There's usually a fair amount of stretch to these. You can look at it. You can definitely get some stretch. So if you're off by an inch, it's probably not the end of the world. Now, go back into the round here, what we want to do, see how it's kind of gappy where we have been letting those 30 stitches remain on the cord at the back. We want to pick them up again, but we don't want there to be a hole on our ankle there. So we were doing that little pickup to cinch this row here nice and tight. We're going to do the same thing here. So for the first stitch, because we're back on a knit row, let's slip the first one. And then we're done with slipping after that. We're going to knit across the 30 that we have finished on our heel. And then we'll be able to resume doing the foot. It's kind of neat if you had changed colors and did a solid color for your heel. Basically, you'd be picking up and resuming your pattern or your other color at that corner, and you'd be doing that now, knitting back across. It's kind of fun sometimes to do the heel, the toe, and the cuff in a solid if you're doing these fun self-patterning or self-striping yarns. It makes it look pretty cool. I happen to sell a lot of those yarns in my shop, so I guess I'll throw a pitch in there. So that you should go to thevioletunicorn.com, or if you're in Nova Scotia, pop down to my little shop in Fisherman's Cove, just at the mouth of the Halifax Harbor in Eastern Passage. You can always do a class with me too. Okay, so when we get to the end, we're going to knit. We've knit all 30 of them. We're going to rotate and go back to doing our magic loop. So we slide our needle down, get it back onto our stitches here. And then see, there's that big gap there. We're going to do the same thing that we did. See, that's really pulled out there. Same thing that we did before. I'm going to look at the stitches below, and I'm going to pick up, what do I want to pick up? You want to pick up something that's fairly tight. I'm going to pick up that one and that one. We don't want to go too far down. And I'm going to plop those onto the left needle. And then knit all 3 of those together super, super tight. And that, you can see there's no big, huge gap. And I'm going to knit across. And now these ones haven't been knit in a while we're doing the heel, so I'm knitting back across them to include them back into the sock. And we're going to do the exact same thing when we get down to this end. And it just makes it neater. We don't want there to be a hole at the ankle. I mean, this is your first sock. It may happen that there's a little hole in it. you can darn it shut. I mean, you got to walk before you can run, so don't worry too much about it. Experience will help. So there we go. I finished that round. I'm going to pull my needle through, bring it down. Oh, that's cool. I just pulled the stitch out of there. So you're also going to learn how to pick up. Look at that. Did you see that? I dropped one of the stitches off the end. So what I'm going to do is grab that little stitch, before he unravels. See how I caught him there on my needle? Turn it back around, and I'm going to re-knit him. I also do some problem solving in videos and classes here of what to do when your needle falls out or when you drop a stitch. So there you go. That's what happens. And that frequently happens, especially with these small needles. There we go. Now it's all ready. So I pull that around, ready to go. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I want to tighten it up. So I'm going to grab that one. I'm going to grab that one. And I'm going to plop them. Let me get a good shot here where it comes into focus. Onto my left needle. And I want all 3 of those stitches to be knit nice and tight together. Really tight. And then I can continue on. And it's all good. And if all goes well, you can see there's no big gap there. That's where your ankle will be. So then you're going to continue on. And like I said, you're going to go for probably several inches and then come back, and you're just going back around and around and around with the magic loop. And then come back and look at the toe video. And I will get you through doing the toe and the cast off, and you'll have completed your first sock. Good luck and congratulations, you're already done the hardest part, which is the heel. So well done, you're through it. See you in the next video.